Hello everyone, it's PAUH4578, and this is Empire Total War. Strategy game set during the 17th century. It takes place in Europe, North Africa, North America, parts of South America, the Middle East, and the India. In my opinion, one of the best strategy games of all time. I'm not sure which one is better. In my opinion, my top two favorite strategy games in no particular order are Hearts of Iron 2 and Empire Total War. They are just two best games out there. And the games that they made after just haven't been able to actually live up to it. The reasons that you can shoot so many times is this is an organ gun. It is a multi-barreled cannon. Uses the same animations as for reloading as a normal cannon, so as you can see it's only reloading one, unfortunately. Even though there are like 7 barrels. So this thing fire. I've got this fast forwarded so we can get this done quickly. I'm using the Ottomans and I'm fighting the Persians. This is their last outpost that they have before they are defeated. It's their last country. Their last territory. And these are the survivors of other campaigns against the Persians. As you can see here, how there's only like 2 cannons here and like 7 camels here instead of the full thing. These are the essentially other survivors of other victories against the Persians. Everyone else is all my other troops are not able to assist these troops because they're caught up in Europe and fighting in Europe, and this is all I could spare for the Persian campaign. But it might be enough. It just might be enough. Now, brief history on the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was created, I believe, during the late 12th century or early 13th century. It reached its peak in the 16th century, and it started declining around, actually, not around, my bad, it started declining ever since. This takes place during the 17th century, so it actually starts at the year 1700, so just as the Ottoman Empire is starting to decline, I'm trying to turn its decline around and actually help it expand again. To help it expand, what I needed to do is update its infantry, make them more European, I suppose you could say, because one of the reasons for the Ottoman Empire falling was it never really updated its military or its way of thinking. It was always stuck in the past. And they never really decided to update themselves until I think the late 1800s or early 1900s, I forget. I think it may have been the late 1800s. No. I don't know, it was somewhere in the 1800s, that's all I remember. When they started updating. Anyway, the Persian Empire was like the Ottoman Empire in many ways. It was a Middle Eastern empire. It once stretched far and wide, and they controlled a lot of land as well. However, the Ottoman Empire, in my opinion, was superior because they actually managed to capture Greece, unlike the Persians. The let's see, what else with the Ottoman Empire? The Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers in World War I. After their defeat, they remained a country until the 1920s. During the 1920s, the country turned into Turkey, essentially. And it's no longer. I'm gonna give you a close look at the civilians. Anyway, now, there you can see a city in the background there. The reason these people gave me such a hard time is because they fought to the death. Normally, civilians have the worst morale out of all units and actually flee at almost anything, but for some reason they stood and fought to the death for their country in their last region. And they actually had to get me to think pretty hard at some of these parts on how to combat them. Now, they've reached 95% damage here, so the next volley will take down what units are here. Part of them are down here, but most of them are up here. The, let's see, what else? The Persian flag, the Ottoman flag, and the, I'm going to slow motion this. The Persian flag and the, Turkish flag. You can see them retreating there. Anyway, the Persian flag and the... God damn it, I keep messing up. The Ottoman flag and the Turkish flag, okay, I got it correct that time, are very similar. The only difference between them is like they have like a different amount of moons, I believe it was. I believe one had like 3 moons and one has 1 moon. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Take a look at your flag. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the Turkish flag has like these two eliminated, I believe. I'm pretty sure. God, it's driving me insane. These units here are commanders, the ones that are different from the others. The flag bearers, and the commanders are, essentially, if they're eliminated, the units will lose morale. I'm going to fast forward these units here, because I'm going to walk them the entire way, so that way they save stamina. As you can see here, the Persians have actually taken up a defensive position around the entrance. Another reason for why I lost pretty badly is lots of these units here have swords, while my units, for some reason, even though I had bayonets researched at the time, they didn't use the bayonets. I'm guessing because bayonets may be only for line infantry and elite infantry. I don't know, either that or they were glitched. All they did was melee with the butts of their guns, while these units, some of them have rifles, but some of them actually have swords, which are actually pretty good melee weapons, I guess you could say. Now, I'm trying to get them to come out to me, or at least get a good position to fire at them, but I can't get a good position to fire at them, so what's going to happen is I'm going to charge in soon. get my generals back there. Generals increase the morale of your units, however, if they die, they dramatically decrease the morale because your units are demoralized a lot because their leader is gone. Even more so than if like the leader of a regiment dies. Dramatically more so. As you can see here, they're firing, but they're firing at a wall. I can't get a good shooting spot at them. And in fact, as you're about to see here, a good line of this unit is actually going to be die, because I actually end up shooting my own units right there, that little line, because I can't get a good shot. So I decide I'm not going to attempt that again because I'm going to continue losing units. So I charge in